Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 32 of the Sam Hossack Media Podcast. Joining us today is a senior from the Minnesota Golden Gophers women's hockey team, and we'll get to introducing her now. She won a gold medal with the U.S. women's under-8 team at the 2016 under-18 Women's World Championships, was a co-captain this year, and was a huge wrestler as a kid. Please welcome from the Minnesota Golden Gophers, number 2, Emily Brown.
Thank you. I appreciate that wrestling shout out, but I'm excited to be here and excited to chat today.
For sure. And we'll go back to your high school days. We won't talk too much about high school, but when you were in high school, you were part of that under-18 team for Team USA and won gold. So just take us to that tournament and how it went.
Yeah, it was obviously a really cool experience. Anytime you're able to represent your country on a national or a world stage like that is super awesome. So I remember it was cool looking back on it, playing with so many girls that I would become eventual teammates with here on the Gophers, and then playing against some as well, playing against my current roommate Olivia Knowles and Amy Potomac as well. So just a really cool experience playing at a high level. And something that I look back on from high school and just think how lucky and grateful I was for that opportunity.
Now, take us through the moment the final horn kind of goes off and what was going through your head knowing that you just won a gold medal for your country.
Yeah, super cool. I mean, I remember that gold medal game. It actually went into overtime, and so Natalie Snodgrass from who plays at UConn now scored the game-winning goal, and so it was just a crazy moment. It's everything you kind of dream of when you're shooting pucks in your garage. That going into overtime in a gold medal game against Canada. So it's just a really cool moment, and Canada did a great job hosting the event. I remember it was like a sold out crowd, which that was the first time really ever had experienced that. So it was just a really, really cool moment for sure.
And as a kid, obviously growing up watching USA Hockey, World Juniors, or women's side, how cool was it to finally be belting out your national anthem with a gold medal around your neck on the blue line?
Oh man, just surreal. Really, like you said, you really grow up watching that, and that whole week that those tournaments are on, you're just kind of glued to the TV watching. So to be in that moment and have that experience was just crazy. Just so many emotions going through your head, and something that you'll always remember.
Now, take us through committing to Minnesota. What was the process kind of like, and when did you know it was a school for you?
Yeah, I started visiting schools my early sophomore year in high school, and visited a few. Had a visit at Minnesota, and what really stuck out to me was just that feeling you got when you walked on campus, and it just felt like home to me. And it was just that gut reaction, meeting the players, talking with the coaches, and it just felt like a family, and a family that I wanted to be a part of. So I think I visited I don't know, maybe it was a Monday I can't remember. I think it was a Friday because they played games or something, and then ended up committing about a week after. So it just, it was such an easy decision for me. It just felt so right. And more than 4 years, I guess, but 6 years later, it's still, I still have those same feelings, and I'm so glad that I had that opportunity.
Now, obviously, with everything that's happened the last year, it seems like it was so long ago, but take us through your first NCAA game, if you can remember who it was against and how it kind of went.
I do remember who it was against. It was against Merrimack, and I believe we lost the game, and it was so that's unfortunately, I wish I had fonder memories, but I just remember leading up to it, the nerves and the excitement, and I had been committed for a few years, so just all of that anticipation kind of building up, and walking into the locker room and seeing all the jerseys hanging up so nice, that our equipment manager does, and realizing that one of them really does have my last name on the back of it was pretty cool, and getting to wear that M for the first time. So yeah, I mean, it's been 4 years, but I still remember the excitement, um, and all the fun emotions that come with your first game like that.
You kind of touched on it already there, but just take us through the feeling of finally seeing your name on a Minnesota Golden Gophers jersey.
Sure. I mean, I feel like I've used this word a lot, but just surreal. I mean, I grew up going to Gopher women's hockey games. I didn't have any siblings or family members that played hockey, so those girls out there were really my role models. And so seeing growing up watching them for all those years, and then finally having the opportunity to be one of those girls on the ice playing with a Gopher jersey on is crazy to think about. And 4 years later, it's still just a special feeling every time that I get to play in a game and put that jersey on and go out there and compete.
Now, throughout your college career, you've gotten to win a final face-off tournament. So just take us through that and how special of a tournament that was to win for your school.
Yeah, that's it's such a fun tournament because the WCHA is so strong and so competitive, and usually have at least 4 teams in the top 10. So winning a tournament like that is always a huge honor, and it takes a lot of hard work, a lot of grit, and playing your best hockey come March. So that was super cool, being able to win a championship and hang a banner at Ritter Arena. And yeah, something, when I look back on my 4 years, that's definitely a moment that sticks out to me.
Now, obviously, you guys are playing out of Ritter Arena. How special of an arena is that to play at?
Oh yeah, it's best in the country. I mean, it's just a world class facility, and the fans are really what makes it so special as well. And obviously, we missed them this year, but yeah, we're so lucky with the community support that we have, and Ritter Arena just being what it is, and all the history that comes along with it, and all the people that worked so hard to make that happen and give the women's program their own rink. So obviously my favorite rink, and I know that a lot of people love playing in that ice arena, and all the history that comes along with it.
Now, something you guys didn't really get to experience this much, just playing in conference games, was traveling. So, your first 3 years, what were some of your favorite trips that you guys were able to go on?
Yeah, gosh, there's a lot of them. I think the one that really sticks out is going to Nashville last year over Thanksgiving. Super cool to bring women's hockey to Nashville and showcase the talent in the on the women's side. Uh, Really cool. I've never been there before, so it was a cool environment. Played some good hockey there, Boston College and some other teams, out of conference teams that we don't normally get to play. And so that was super cool. I know we also, anytime we're able to go out east, I know Yale was a fun one, kind of walking around the Ivy League campus. And it's just fun to experience different parts of the country and play a couple games and compete hard while you're at it.
Now, one thing you guys got to do was have a practice outside, and I believe you played a game outdoors as well. So, just take us through those experiences.
Yeah, Hockey Day Minnesota outside. It was freezing, I'll tell you that. But it was super cool. One of those, kind of once in a lifetime type things, playing a game like that against a really good opponent in Ohio State. Just really cool. Growing up in Minnesota, Hockey Day Minnesota was always a big thing, and something that you always wanted to play in. And so being able to do that at the college level and play with your best friends, really cool, and something that I look back on, and I'm glad that it's over because I kept all 10 of my toes and it was so cold, but it was a really cool experience.
Now, we'll get into some team fun here. So, who's the messiest on the team?
The messiest. I'd probably have to say, let's see, probably my roommate, Michaela Paul. Love her to death, but sometimes it does it does get a little messy, but she always usually cleans it up within a timely manner.
Best and worst TikToker.
Best and worst TikToker. I feel like I'm old for TikTok. Like I kind of am missed it by a couple of years, but I know that Michaela has a couple good TikToks. I've seen Maddie's Weddington's gone viral on one, I think. Heisey, they all got good TikToks. I feel like I'm not in a spot to judge who's the best and worst, but I do know that they dabble in the TikTok.
How gross was the Starbucks cup in Abby Murphy's stall?
Disgusting. It was something that you'd find in a middle school, like biology experiment thing. It was, that's, she'll hear about that for a while, I think.
Now, favorite and least favorite rink in the NCAA to play in?
Favorite Ritter Arena, obviously. If we're saying um, a favorite outside of our home rink, I would say, gosh, that's a tough one. I would say favorite and least favorite would be combined in LeBon Arena, Wisconsin's home rink. Favorite, I mean, they've got a great facilities and really electric crowd, but least favorite because that crowd is going the other way and cheering against us. So, but that's always a fun series playing out there in Madison.
Now, obviously, no fans this year, but who are your favorite fans besides your home fans to play in front of?
Favorite fans besides the home fans. Gosh, good question. I would say, I don't know. That's a tough question. I would say um, Duluth is kind of a fun spot to be. They got a passionate fan base, and people usually come out and cheer on. You know, their hockey town, and so it's always fun playing up there in the Amsoil.
Loudest in the room and on the ice.
Loudest in the room and on the ice. I would say on the ice would probably be Taylor Heisey when she's calling for a puck. You always know where she's at, and sometimes when you're like, oh, I don't know who to pass it to, she's always got my back. So I appreciate that. Let's see, loudest off the ice. Whew. We got a few, but I would say Murph's pretty loud when she wants to be, or yeah, I would probably say Murph, I guess, on that one.
Funniest story that happened throughout the year?
Throughout this year?
Yeah.
I would say the one that came up to my head is we were playing a small area game on the ice, and it was one where we had 3 nets kind of in the zone in different spots, and it was kind of like you score on any net type deal, and it was 3-on-3, and Abby Breen was calling for a pass and kind of looking back at it, not just skating up the dot line, and all of a sudden she like looks up and just runs smack into the back of the net, and it was like a huge commotion. She got totally taken out. Everyone was laughing, and it was pretty funny. Luckily she was okay and everything, and laughed it off, but that was pretty funny this year.
Now, obviously, you play through a COVID year this year, so just take us through kind of what a normal game day would look like.
Yeah. Let's see. Personally, you mean?
Yeah.
Like what I do? Sure. Normal game day, we usually get up, have some breakfast. We usually get it from Tony's Diner down here on campus, which is the best, and then have a pregame skate. I'm a pregame skater. Some people do dynamic warm up off ice, but I like to get the hands going a little bit. Yeah, then go back. Usually I'll nap, and then grab a coffee on the way to the rink. And then once I get to the rink, I'm just I don't have too many superstitions. I just kind of do what I need to do that day. So usually I'll tape my stick and go up, stretch out a bit. And one thing I always do before the game is I'll find my grandparents, who are always like the first people to the game. I swear they like bribe the ticket people so that they get in early. And so I'll find them, talk to them for a bit, and just say hi, and then I'll go down, get ready, and get on the ice.
Now, obviously, this year your family's not able to be at games, so how hard was it to kind of have that experience this season?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot. It was very difficult. My family is my biggest fans. They always have been. I mentioned my grandparents. I don't think they've ever missed a sporting event of mine, and my parents and sister as well. So not seeing them in their normal spots at the rink and every other rink, they drive to every game, even if it's out east. So they're crazy supportive, and definitely missed having them at the games. But I always knew they were watching from my living room at home and cheering just as loud as if they were at Ritter.
Now, something that I've asked a couple of your teammates that has turned into the funniest clips I've ever had is you're on a selection committee for Team USA for the Olympics next year. So who is some of the men and women you want on Team USA?
Oh, gosh, Grace Zumwinkle, number one. She's awesome and totally deserves that. But gosh, there's so many good players. Kendall Coyne just blow the doors off anyone. I swear, and she's I mean, tough to play against, but awesome when you're on the same team as her. Gotta root for the former Gophers, Kelly Panic, Danny Cameronese, um, Lee Steckline. I know I'm missing like 7 probably, Hannah Brandt, but yeah, I when in doubt, always go for those Gopher alumni for sure.
Now, what about the men's side?
The men's, I was hoping we would go back to that because I'm like, oh, I don't know, but gosh, I am so bad at picking out names, but I don't know, like whoever. I guess I think Nick Bukestad would be pretty cool. He's a former Blaine Bengal like myself, so grown up playing with him, or more so behind him, I guess, but always looking up to him. So if I had to vote someone in, it'd be Bukestad for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously you've got like Kane, Matthews; those two are kind of the big lock-ins already if they get the NHL guys there. And I mean,
For
there's
sure, yeah.
so many good players, like the NHL players at that tournament next year. It's just going to be insane, and viewers are going to be going through the roof because obviously 4 years ago you don't have that. So I mean, it's
Yeah, no doubt. Oh, I'm excited. Oh, yeah. 2022 can't come soon enough, I'll tell you that.
now one of your teammates who you shared the captaincy with this year, Grace Sumwinkle, was at the camp for Team USA for the Women's World. So when you heard the news that the tournament was canceled, what were your first thoughts, and what was the kind of conversation you had with Grace, if there was one?
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked when I first heard the news, obviously, a bit unexpected, and just texted them right away saying, I'm so sorry, like, just, kind of a tough situation to be in, obviously, for her, especially with it being back-to-back world championships in a row and her being on both of those squads. Um, so yeah, obviously disappointed for her and all the girls, and glad that they were able to get something going. Hopefully in, I believe it's August or whenever they announce, and hopefully Zum and all the rest of the girls will get a chance to compete there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, it's disappointing to see that they've canceled the tournament 2 years in a row, and for all those girls, especially because on the men's side, it's kind of up in the air who's going to be at the Olympics, but for the women's side, they can go. So I mean,
Mhm.
Team USA doesn't really know who they can pick for the Olympics because they haven't seen girls really play outside college in 2 years for their country. So I mean,
Mhm.
obviously for Grace, who's probably a lock in for that Olympic team next year. Hopefully, she's gonna get the chance in August to compete for her country again and show what she's got to make the Olympic team next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Now, obviously, you guys were in the middle of the season when the NHL came back, but do you have a favorite team, and how excited are you to see NHL hockey every night?
Yeah, yeah, so excited to see them playing. There's so much talent, like you'd said a bit earlier, but favorite team got to go with the hometown Minnesota Wild. They're doing awesome this year. They're exciting to watch. They're fun to watch. So um, yeah, I mean, I like players on different teams, obviously, but when it comes down to it, I'll always be a Wild fan first.
Now, how exciting is it to finally see them having success? And I mean, they bring Kaprizov in this year, and he's just been on an absolute tear and is going to win the Calder this year.
Yeah, I mean, so exciting and such a long time coming, so really cool to watch. It seems like they're so deep. They got 4 lines that are just rolling night in and night out. And like I said, having Bukestad on the team there is pretty cool. Seeing someone from my hometown having success individually and as a team. So yeah, really exciting, and hopefully playoffs go well and they can keep it rolling.
Now we'll jump into some fan questions here. And Maddie and Audrey Weatherthing both basically asked the same question, but um, tell us about your wrestling career.
The question everyone wants to know. Yes, so my dad was a wrestling coach at the elementary and middle school that I went to, King of Kings, in Roseville, Minnesota. And yeah, he was a wrestler in high school and then coached wrestling there. And I was like, I want to join. Like, why can't I? Why not? So um I think I was in like fourth grade or something, pretty young. And he's like, okay, I guess. So whatever, I started wrestling and um, wrestled in a few matches, and I think I was undefeated, so it was like in two matches. But so I always say I'm like the undefeated fourth grade champion. But I have some just classic pictures that I used to be embarrassed of, but now I'm like, this is pretty sweet. So I show everyone, and it's a great conversation starter. But yeah, huge wrestler, love wrestling, and maybe I'll do my fifth year with Gopher Wrestling. We'll see.
Now, the other question Maddie wanted to ask was, I hear you're a great tambourine player.
Oh, absolutely. I got my tambourine right behind me. Freshman year, we started a band, me and my freshman roommate, Olivia Knowles, and then Amy Potomac as well. So we got Amy on the guitar, I'm on the tambourine and vocals, and then Knowlesy's vocalist as well. So huge band play, or I don't even know what the right term is, huge tambourinist, I guess, maybe. And the rhythm could be improved, but it's come a long ways in the past few years.
Now, something that kind of came out in March from the women's basketball tournament from Sedona Prince was the food and athletic side of things, kind of differences between the men's and women's. So, what was your kind of take on that, and what were you thinking as an NCAA athlete?
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of something that's been happening for a while. Obviously, the difference between men and women's sport collegiately and professionally there's always been a discrepancy. So I think Sedona posting those videos of really showing the differences really helped open people's eyes, and really spurred action, which is great, and something that hopefully will continue to spur action and help to close some of those discrepancies between men and women's sports.
Now, heading into next year, what are you most excited about to be with the Gophers again?
Yeah, just crazy excited. It's hard to pick one thing. Um, going through this past year when you're unsure if you're coming back or what the plan is and stuff, you kind of just realize how special everything is, and how much you really are grateful for and appreciate everything. So I'm just excited to be able to be on the team, hang out with the girls, for a whole nother year, and compete at a national championship. So um, yeah, just I guess most excited to stay a part of the family, and keep working hard together, and making memories as well.
And now, obviously, this year you guys weren't selected for the NCAA tournament. We won't get too much into it to bash the NCAA or anything, but just take us to your guys' thoughts of not getting selected over Minnesota Duluth, who you had beat all year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously disappointing, and one of those feelings that probably will always have a sour taste in your mouth a little bit. But obviously now we're just focusing on what we can control, and that's working our butts off this spring and this summer to to leave no doubt next year, and to just do everything we can during the season, and win the games that we need to win to hopefully come March 2021. There's no doubt in our minds that we'll be at that NCAA tournament, and doing the best we can.
Now, going into next year, what's the best advice you could give to the freshman class coming in?
Yeah, I would say, just enjoy it. They're a big class. I think there's 6, 7, or whatever, and so they're kind of in a unique spot where there's a lot of them, and they can really develop some great relationships with each other and with the team. And I would just say to take it all in. And the 4 years are going to go fast. It's the biggest cliche that anyone can say, but it's so true. And just try and be a sponge, and take in all that you can the first year. It can feel like you're drinking out of a fire hose sometimes, but don't be afraid to ask questions, and just really, take a moment to just realize, how far you've come, and at the same time be ready to work, because college is a whole nother experience, and it's challenging but extremely rewarding as well.
For sure, and something I'm doing with my YouTube channel in the next little while with a couple of your teammates is a Gopher trivia thing. So it's going to be with Abby Murphy, Maddie Wethington, and Audrey Wethington. We got some questions about the Gophers, some USA hockey questions, and some Minnesota trivia. So who do you think is going to come out on top of that?
Oh my goodness. Well, it's going to be close, and it's probably going to be like pretty competitive knowing those three, but I don't know. I almost got to say Maddie because I'm sure she's studying for it, like she's a crazy good student. So I'm sure she's like making flashcards of some different Minnesota trivia or something. But yeah, that's going to be close and definitely something that'll be fun to watch.
Now, obviously, you guys have top-notch facilities at Minnesota. How cool is it to kind of have that experience in college hockey?
Oh, so cool. I mean, the facilities here are great. I know they built the Land O'Lakes Center of Excellence, the Athletes Village here. They built that. I believe it was my freshman year. They finished it up, and that is just world class. Second to none, and something that's you don't get a whole lot. You don't see at a whole lot of other schools for women's hockey, especially. So really cool and something that we all take advantage of and are really grateful for as well.
Absolutely. Well, on behalf of the listeners, I'd like to thank Emily Brown for coming on here today. It was an honor chatting college hockey with you, and we wish you the best of luck heading into your second senior year next year.
Thank you, and thanks for having me.